Did you see? You remember a previous episode we covered the escaped Central Park owl?
Yeah, it died.
It died. Yeah. Ran into a building.
Really? Is that what killed it?
Yeah.
See,
West 89th Street.
It never should have escaped.
Never should have.
They should have put it right back where. Also, how is it contained in the park? It's a park. It's an open park.
Well, it's central. The zoo is in the Central Park Zoo.
Oh, right. It was in the zoo. I forgot the entire story.
And then some vandals got wire cutters and it cut the wires.
Well, now
from
they have
the
blood
cage.
on their hands.
They have blood on their hands, and that's what it said. That's what the chief of police said.
Did he actually say that?
He said, whoever did this, whoever let this Flacco out of his cage, quite frankly, they have blood on their hands.
They did say. I don't want to mince words, but they have blood on their hands.
Owl's blood.
Owl blood.
Which is the worst blood you could ever have.
Probably magical in the world of Harry Potter.
Maybe, yeah.
Probably used in potions.
Or in Winnie the Pooh, the wise old owl.
Yeah, the wise old owl. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh.
Apparently not too wise. Ran into a building. One of the easiest things to avoid hitting. A building in New York City.
Yeah, it's lived there his whole life. Yeah. He's going to fly into a single building.
Yeah.
Now tell me this: did you ever hear the story about there was a woman that was attacked by an owl in her home, and she fell down like an owl got in the house from outside.
Yeah.
Attacked her, and she fell down the stairs and fucking hit her, cracked her skull open, and died.
Good God.
The husband comes home. Or the husband's like in the other room or something. The owl flies out.
Yeah.
There's no trace of an owl anywhere.
Yeah.
And he just finds his wife bloody in the bottom of the stairs.
Oh my God.
And he goes, oh, Jesus Christ.
This doesn't look good for me.
Yeah. He calls the police.
Yeah.
And then they go, and you found her, you're in the other room, huh?
Yeah. And you think it was an owl.
No, he had no idea. He didn't even see the owl.
He didn't know.
So he just had a dead wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, someone must have broken in. They go, well, your home wasn't broken into.
Yeah.
No. He goes, no.
Oh, no.
I am fucked. And they were probably going to convict him, but he had the best lawyer in the world.
Really?
And they found, somebody involved in the defense found like microscopic owl feathers, like in her hair and shit.
Wow.
And they go, Your Honor, it was clearly an owl. And he goes, case dismissed. He goes,
I've heard enough.
Oh, you found an owl feather in her hair? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. For sure an owl.
Well, it had to have been an owl.
This man's free to go.
Say no more, no questions.
Yeah. And
It's got to be an owl.
regret ever besmirching his name, quite frankly.
Those bastard owls. We had a neighbor. This is more about murdering your wife, not about owls.
Well, now we're getting to the good stuff.
We had a neighbor who he got into an argument with his wife and shot her and killed her.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah, as one does.
Can you blame him?
Sure. No.
It's an American pastime.
I'm not here to besmirch his name. No.
Yeah, to disparage his choices.
Yeah. No, but his defense, he goes, I was arguing with her. I was reaching for my pliers to shake at her. But of course, wrong pocket.
Wrong pocket.
He grabbed his gun.
I grabbed my gun.
Pulled his trigger.
And I thought I was unlocking the pliers. But yeah, no, I was only going to shake the pliers at her. But I shot her in the head.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
So, looking back, maybe you should have gone for the owl defense.
Right. Oh man, speaking of neighbors, now we're really just going one thing to another. Did I tell you about my old neighbor Jake, my childhood neighbor Jake, who
saw a ghost or something?
Yeah, he's currently haunting the current tenant of his house.
Yeah, he's a ghost. You talked about this.
Yeah. Well, if I already talked about it in the podcast, I won't do it again. But
no, he's a ghost.
Fuck it, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
All right. So he's an old guy, just sits in his garage every day.
Yeah.
Hat, smells weird. Old guy, doesn't say much. But we see him across the street every single day, just looking at the cars go by.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was struck by lightning twice.
Yeah.
Or he was electrocuted twice. Once in like a plant, and then
different areas because it's lightning
different areas,
never strikes.
and then he went to get his mail one day and he got struck by lightning. And now every time he went and got the mail after, he would just look at it for a while, and then he'd look at the sky, and then
you go,
and then and then you just make a bolt for it. Every time you get struck by lightning. Every time. A cloud would show up and strike him with lightning. But they say if you're electrocuted, you're twice as likely to get electrocuted again. Or
Really?
like 500 more times likely.
Really? Well, I've heard it never strikes twice.
Well, not in the same place. Well, I don't know. It does. It often does. No, it's like
One of us is wrong. One of those sayings is wrong.
Well, Jake couldn't stop getting struck by lightning, and once because I think technically it's once the lightning gets a taste for you. It's like a killer shark.
Yeah, it's like
it gets a taste and it just keeps coming back.
But
anyway, so he's
more.
He's just an old weird guy. Kept getting struck by lightning. Died in like 2005. And then I'm talking to my aunt last time I'm home, and she goes, well, the new lady lives in Jake's house now, and she's being haunted by him.
She's being haunted
by Jake. His old radio keeps turning on, and all this weird stuff, and the drawers will open up, and it's like he's going through his same routines in the house, you know? Yeah. And so she did a seance, and she politely asked Jake to leave.
And did he listen?
He left.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he goes, oh, my bad.
My bad. I didn't know.
He goes, oh, I guess I was just going through the same routines.
Well, that's good. Maybe she set him free. Maybe he's off in Cozumel.
Or he's like looking for another single bedroom home in Shawnee, Kansas to meet his needs.
Yeah, maybe.
She goes, I need you to leave. And he goes, okay.
I kind of lived here my entire life.
Now I got to limp across the street, find a new house. Hope I don't get struck by ghost lightning on the way across the street.
Yeah, I can't catch a fucking break.
In my waking life, I'm struck by lightning every day. When I'm dead, I got some bitch telling me to stop opening the drawer and turn on the radio. What's a guy got to do to fucking haunt a house anymore?
Kind of paid this house off. Now I got to find a new one. So, fuck me. Well, Joe.
So that's neighbor Jake. Rest in peace. Although he's clearly not resting in peace.
Maybe he is now though with the seance.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
She's put him to rest.
She's put him to rest. And we've got a couple stories we're going to put to rest today.
Well, I'll explain if this is your first time listening. This is the Echo Chamber podcast. Oh, that's new.
I echoed it after.
That's good. I like that.
It's just like our intro song.
We'll have to keep remember to do that every time now.
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Yeah. This is the Echo Chamber podcast with Joe and Trent. I'm Trent. This is Joe.
I'm Joe.
It's the only podcast where two comedians read the Wall Street Journal because one of us gets it for free from work.
What are we going to hear about today, Trent?
Well, Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
He's weighed in on the next president, who he wants to be president.
Really?
He's endorsed Biden.
What? That's mind-blowing. I can't wait to read about that. Or is it all part of his manipulation,
that's what I think.
Reverse psychology plan?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be hearing a lot about the Chinese today on my end. Starting with, the U.S. plans to replace Chinese cranes. All of the cranes
Chinese cranes.
Yeah, that
often
we have
made
here.
out of paper.
That's the problem. They can't lift up any containers as they are origami. No, that's pretty good.
Thanks.
They're going to replace them all because it turns out almost everything we've bought from China is
it stinks.
Could be no. It's spying on us and it's used for evil.
Even worse.
Yeah, it's all
even worse than being cheaply made.
yeah.
Spying on
it's
us.
maliciously made.
Wow. Well, Joe, neither of us have children, but I believe we're from that we know of.
Let's hope not, bud.
We're familiar with Peppa Pig, the cartoon.
Yeah. Big time.
Apparently, it's teaching kids to be brats.
Who would have guessed? Well, more from China. We're going to hear about, actually, India is freeing an accused Chinese spy, that of not a man or a woman, a racing pigeon.
Oh, racing pigeon.
Yeah, so they were worried that we're worried about the cranes. They're worried about pigeons. No matter what it is, China's watching.
Wow, you can't win. But this is another story that greatly affects you, Joe.
Oh, wow.
Zin.
Oh, no.
It's taking off. It's sweeping the nation.
Oh, it sucks. I hate it. But I'm hooked.
Well, a lot of people are hooked, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's highly addictive.
Yeah.
That's literally the whole idea. And lastly, we're going to see a nice little bookend on this whole China piece that I've got over here.
Wow.
Well, you'd never believe it, but the FBI director has issued a warning on China cyber attacks. China. Which I'll be calling it China for the rest of the podcast.
China.
It's China. They're at it again. The villain is China.
Oh, the villain is China.
Yikes, that sounds horribly racist, but that's all right.
That's all right.
That's what the people tune in for. All right, Trent, you want to kick us off?
Well, sure. Joe, this
Lay it on me.
is from the Wall Street Journal.
That's from the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, the Wall Street Journal. Headline, Putin says he'd prefer the president be reelected.
But which president be reelected?
Well, I'll
genius.
tell you, Joe Biden.
Okay, fair enough.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said that he preferred President Biden to Donald Trump in the U.S. election, describing the president as, quote, more experienced and predictable.
But in which election? Last election or this one?
Well, I believe it's referring to this coming election.
Okay, because same guys, so.
It is the same guys.
Plus another guy.
Well, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yes,
who's
friend of the show. Welcome anytime.
Welcome anytime. He's got our vote.
He's got our vote. You're damn right. But yes, he says Vladimir Putin says Joe Biden is more experienced and predictable. That's the key here.
Yeah, predictable.
Predictable.
You don't know what the other guy's going to do.
He's out here.
Yeah.
That other guy, he's a little out there.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon.
Danny, quite frankly, he speaks the mind of the people.
In an interview with Russian state television released late Wednesday, Putin said Biden is, quote, a politician of the old school, and added that Moscow would work with any elected U.S. leader. Trump, meanwhile, mentioned Putin's remarks during a campaign rally Wednesday night in South Carolina. Quote, he's just said that he would much rather have Joe Biden as president than Trump, the former president said. Now, that's a compliment. A lot of people said, oh, gee, that's too bad. No, that's a good thing. That's a quote from Donald Trump.
It's like he's got a perfect piece of leverage, and he didn't articulate it at all. No. Yeah. It is great for Trump because now you can say, "Oh, look how weak Biden is. Putin wants him to stay the president."
I think that's all part of his plan.
It's all part of his plan. He's an evil he's a master
genius.
of manipulation.
Yeah. He's
God,
like
Jada
genius. Pinkett Smith, this guy.
Who would you rather live under a totalitarian regime under? Jada Pinkett Smith or Vladimir Putin?
I gotta go with Vlad.
It's honestly a toss-up for me. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
I think here's why.
I'm slapping people like I got a gun to my head.
Yeah. Here's why. Because Vladimir Putin, more predictable.
Yeah. He's old school.
Yeah. He's not going to say we're married and then 2 weeks later say we were never together.
Yeah, listen, if I'm going to have a bald dictator, I think I'll go. I'll choose the fella. Okay.
Mr. Putin should just stay out of our elections, said White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby on Thursday. I'm sure
what an impotent thing to say that is.
Oh, you know,
stay out of our beeswax.
I did not think of that.
I'm so sorry.
Putin has publicly praised Trump in the past.
No.
Ahead of the 2016 election, Putin described then-candidate Trump as, quote, a colorful and talented person. In 2018, Putin appeared in Helsinki at a press conference next to Trump, and when asked whether he supported Trump in 2016, replied, yes, I did.
You're goddamn right I do.
Because he talked about bringing the U.S.-Russia relationship back to normal.
Yeah, that's fair. Hillary Clinton was... of course, Vladimir Putin wanted Trump. She was so hawkish.
Yeah, she's
hawkish,
a war
they
hawk.
say.
They were a war hawk.
The war hawk, and that's before they knew what Trump was like, and then they got him for 4 years, and he goes, all right.
All right. Maybe Biden's better.
Maybe not. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this guy going to do?
The U.S. later accused the Kremlin of interfering in the 2016 election, allegations that cast a shadow over the Trump presidency. Putin has denied those allegations and defended Trump. Trump has recently said that he would encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want to the U.S. allies that don't spend enough on defense.
Yeah, he obviously wants Trump, right? Yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, run all over Poland, fuck them. Yeah, they don't pay their share. Yeah. You can invade them. I love invasions. Yeah. They rock." He wants to invade Greenland. He's just like, he looks at it like a game of Risk. Like, let's
he
shake
must
it
know
up.
that Greenland actually maybe he doesn't know. He should know. He should invade Iceland.
Right.
Because Greenland is sort of ice.
I don't know if he's aware of that. That Greenland is actually covered in ice, and Iceland
maybe
actually covered in greenery.
Maybe you should look
covered in plants.
Yeah, maybe you should look into that.
Green grass and trees. Beautiful forests. They act like Iceland is this gorgeous place. They go, well, Greenland's covered in ice, but Iceland, oh,
it's beautiful.
Iceland's
paradise.
It's paradise incarnate. Fucking some one Viking.
I'm sure they're basically the same.
Yeah, I think it's an old wives' tale. Some Viking made that up. Also, what I wanted to say about the article, doesn't the Kremlin, just the word the Kremlin, sound like a bad guy in Dragon Ball Z or something?
Kremlin, yeah.
It's the Kremlin. Goku, it's the Kremlin.
We have a year and a half before Kremlin gets here.
Yeah, we got to train. He's got one of the Dragon Balls. What are we going to do?
Oh, Shinran. Please rid us of the Kremlin.
Is that the name of the dragon?
Yeah.
Okay. They never said his name, but like once. Well, as if the administration didn't have enough to worry about with the upcoming election, Trent. This is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh.
U.S. plans billions, I imagine in money, they mean to replace Chinese cranes.
Chinese cranes.
Investment aims to address fear that Beijing is using equipment as a spying tool at ports. The Biden administration plans to invest billions of dollars in the domestic manufacturing of cargo cranes, seeking to counter fears that prevalent use of China-built cranes with advanced software at many U.S. ports poses a potential national security risk. Quote, "We felt there was a real strategic risk here," said Ann Newberg, U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technologies. These cranes, because they are essentially moving the large-scale containers in and out of port, if they were encrypted in a criminal attack or rented or operated by an adversary, that could have a real impact on our economy's movement of goods and our military's movement of goods through ports.
Sure.
The allegation that the Chinese made cranes poses a national security risk to the U.S. is, quote, entirely paranoia, according to a spokesman for the Chinese embassy in Washington.
Well, I'll take their word for it.
Yeah, so they've given us their word.
Yeah.
We have,
you can't trust a man's word. What can you trust? Now, here's the thing. Why does everything need to be hooked up to the Wi-Fi?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
We had cranes.
All they do is lift containers onto a dock. Yeah. But
why? How can that be hacked into? Why does that need to be hooked up?
Oh, it's all part of
the main frame.
It's all in the main.
It's all in the grid.
Yeah, well,
cranes.
Highly complex networking of moving containers. Yeah. It's all automated and everything's digital now.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, they should put grown men in those cranes.
Get a guy back in there.
Get a construction worker who's fucking barking at a lady on the street up in that crane. Nice ass! He's moving containers.
Yeah.
Now that's almost zero national security risk. Big risk to passersby.
Sure. but national security. It's the safest thing you can possibly imagine.
The risk is like, say there's a big cyber attack. Well, at the same time, they could also freeze every crane that's like moving so that like no new shit is coming in.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
The Biden administration's actions follow a Wall Street Journal investigation last year. The Wall Street friend of the show, Wall Street Journal, revealed U.S. fears that giant cranes made by a Chinese state-owned company in use at a number of U.S. ports could present an espionage and disruption risk. Cranes at some ports used by the U.S. military were flagged as surveillance threats. Officials also raised the concern that the software on the cranes could be manipulated by the Chinese to impede U.S. shipping or worse, temporarily disrupt the operation of the crane.
Jeez.
The Chinese can track the origin, destination, and other data of the U.S. military's containerized materials to determine exactly where the military is shipping it. So they can do a lot of peeping with these cranes.
Yeah.
There's been a surge of warnings for top U.S. officials, including FBI Director Christopher Wray, regarding the potential potential threat to U.S. lives posed by the infiltration of the nation's critical infrastructure by Chinese hackers, which could allow them to detonate crippling cyber attacks in the event of a conflict over Taiwan or another flashpoint. Oh, also, replacing China-built cranes will be a slow project, and they declined to share timetables.
It is just that'll take a long time, a really long time.
Yeah, they go. So this could happen tomorrow, and we're fucked. They go. Really, no timetable. I mean, we're talking 50, 100 years. But yeah, something needs to be done.
Wow. Well, you heard about that crane. I'm sure this is not the same thing, but we live in New York City. The crane that fell from the building.
Yeah, I do remember that.
maybe that was China's.
That could have been China.
Doing.
Yeah. They go, let's test one out. Let's test one out.
Wow.
They'll need a crane. They'll need a crane to take the house.
I think not everything needs to be automated. You need a guy in there showing his ass crack.
But how else are we going to take away jobs?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. We have to take away all the jobs.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Right.
Well, Joe, this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Interesting.
Headline, quote, Peppa is a brat. Parents turn on the cheeky preschooler pig.
He's like, you want to fucking turn on me? You going to turn your back on me? I built this fucking town. No one turns their back on the pig, man.
He likes like Harvey Weinstein.
You smoking a cigar, throwing everything off his fucking desk right now.
Hit English cartoon popular in America faces backlash for making kids rude.
God.
Armita Asghari noticed
Bullshit,
some new and alarming behaviors from her 5-year-old son Luca a few months ago. When presented with new foods, he'd respond, "Ew" or "yuck." When annoyed, he'd snap, "You're not my friend anymore." One day, while they were playing in their community garden, Luca commented on her neighbor. Quote, he said, "Look, David's got a big tummy," recalls Asghari, a 41-year-old personal shopper in London. Bullshit job.
Personal shopper?
Yeah. That
really is a bullshit job.
That was when I realized he had picked up all those behaviors from Peppa Pig.
God damn it, it's the pig's fault. So every episode of The Pig, he's just walking around telling his mom to shut the fuck up and stuff?
Well, I believe it's a lady. The pig is a young girl.
Peppa's a girl?
Peppa.
Nah, I don't like any part of it. First of all, I thought that was a young man.
No, Peppa Pig. With a name like Peppa.
Oh, like Salt and Peppa? Yes.
Asghari was drawn to the British animated series for its 5-minute episodes and simple plot lines. She thought it would help Luca with language development. But after watching several episodes, she has decided she doesn't like its pink porcine protagonist.
Yeah.
Peppa is a brat, says Asghari.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Also, why are we watching British shows? And we rebelled against them 300 years ago. Of course it's rude. Everyone in England is rude. Their whole culture is built on being arrogant pricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Peppa's rude? Yeah, write what you know. They're all just
fucking dirty, limey Brit.
Yeah, they're just arrogant fucks that think they're better than everyone in the whole world. Yeah. Just because they used to be.
Right. Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's a new sheriff in town.
You're looking at it.
For a couple years longer.
Our days are numbered.
Our days are numbered. The cranes.
Peppa Pig is a wildly popular English cartoon about the adventures of a cheeky preschooler pig who lives with her mummy and daddy and brother. It's such a U.S. hit that American children are acting British, including talking of petrol stations and calling cookies biscuits.
Makes me sick to my fucking stomach. What happened to this nation?
Yeah. The franchise, an empire that includes toys, pajamas, and theme parks, made $1.7 billion in retail sales in 2022.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah. Or maybe it's not. I really don't know.
There's really no way of knowing.
You could say that number. Like, it could be like the worst thing ever for a company. Or like,
I think it's a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
It sounds like a lot. It's ranked It's the fourth most in-demand children's series worldwide after Masha and the Bear,
Fuck's that?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
We know that. The
We
king.
know that. We're all familiar. And Paw Patrol, another one I've heard of.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
But I don't know Mash and the Bear.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it. I think it stinks.
Yeah, I never cared for this bullshit pig
Yeah,
bullshit.
no, but now I guess the kids are talking British.
Yeah,
they're
that's no good.
They're calling their mom a cunt. It's no good.
Oh, listen up, cunt. Give me another biscuit.
Hello, governor.
Hello, Governor. How about another biscuit for me?
Chop chop.
Oh, fuck off.
But as a new
Mom's
generation,
like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
but as a new generation focuses on more gentle and respectful child rearing techniques, more parents are pushing back against Peppa, concerned she's a bad influence on their offspring.
We can't stand for this any longer.
Quote, Peppa is rude and impatient, and the show teaches kids that this is who she is, and that's okay, said Kayla Teichson, a 33-year-old parenting coach in Houston. Bullshit job. She referenced episodes where Peppa groans when her father has to stop the car for an errand, or when Peppa demands she give her his spot on the couch. Here's an issue, I think. Why are you letting a kids TV show teach your children?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just watching it and picking shit up.
Yeah,
you know?
and then but you can't just sit them in front of the TV and then go on your phone and then be like, "Why is my kid
Also,
acting like a brat?"
If I watched, there's plenty of cartoons like that when we grew up.
Yeah.
And if I acted like that, my dad would say, "What did you just say to me?"
Right,
And then
exactly.
I'd never do it again because
Exactly,
I'd be
that's
terrified.
what I mean. Yeah,
Everyone's passive now.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They go, I have no words. To me, maybe perhaps we could explore different ways of affecting of how we feel.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Shut up, bitch!
Give me biscuits.
Give me a biscuit.
Shut your
You
man."
bloody cunt. Yeah, exactly. If
Right.
I was acting like annoying, I'd pick something up on TV.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my fucking dad would throw his whiskey in my face.
Yeah, my mom would backhand me. Yeah, lock me in my room for a week.
Yeah.
They didn't have time or patience for anything.
No.
Also, but you know what's going to happen now with this? The network is gonna make Peppa. They're gonna take what was so great about the character and put it like they're gonna do just what they did with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse used to be up to no good. Yeah. But now he's like, oh, hello. Yeah, they made it the most safe, square thing of all time.
He
This is
wasn't
what they're doing. And
mischievous.
they're gonna fuck it up and they're gonna ruin the show.
Yeah.
And what the real problem is not the show, because the character is obviously great and works.
Yeah.
The problem is that, like we said, nobody can tell their kids.
Nobody can tell their kid no
How to
and
behave.
knock it off.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you can't say the word cunt.
Yeah.
And it's not a fucking biscuit. It's a cookie. And you'll be having none until you stop talking like a British,
Right, exactly.
like an arrogant line.
Yeah. Yeah, the phrase straighten up and fly right hasn't been uttered in 15 years. Years ago, parents sang Peppa's praises on Common Sense Media, a non-profit website offering reviews on television and movies.
Bullshit company.
In recent months, negative comments have rolled in, such as they disrespect the dad every episode,
That's funny.
or the show teaches kids that crying, being mean, and bossy, and even fat shaming is okay. It is.
It is, and quite frankly, it's back. Body positivity's done. I read that in the Wall Street Journal, actually.
Aisha Khalik, a 36-year-old content creator and mom, both bullshit jobs, believes Peppa Pig.
What is the hardest bullshit job in the world?
She believes Peppa Pig hasn't kept pace with the times, especially for millennial parents trying to raise socially sensitive kids. Fuck off.
Socially sensitive. That's the problem. Here's the thing.
Don't raise them for the real world at all.
Yeah.
Nobody's socially sensitive.
This is probably why they love Peppa Pig, because he's a rude asshole.
If they can't see
every
that,
other time.
Yeah.
Every other time they're doing anything, their mom is like, sweetie,
Right.
we need to take everyone's micro triggers
Yeah.
into consideration here.
Yeah, it's like you ever seen the movie Demolition Man?
No.
Sylvester
I've not.
Stallone
Ah.
and Wesley Snipes, and they live in this society, futuristic society where nothing bad is ever done. Like everybody is nice and it's super polite.
Right.
And so Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes comes and he's like a really bad guy, and he like he's mean and he robs people.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to react. They don't know how to stop him.
Because
everyone,
they're too nice.
Yeah,
they're paralyzed.
Yeah.
They're paralyzed by their own. It's social paralysis
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, be rude.
Be rude.
Live it up.
Call somebody a fat pig. Peppa is hardly the first kids TV character to annoy parents, says Polly Conway, head of TV and streaming at Common Sense Media.
Bullshit
Elmo saw haters when he joined Sesame Street. SpongeBob had critics after his 1999 debut. Quote, Peppa is a little spicy, says Conway. She can be bratty and not treat her brother with kindness, but she is indicative of what a 4-year-old is like. They sometimes say terrible things to their grandparents.
Yeah, who gives a shit? It's a cartoon show.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the problem. It's your inability to raise your kids.
Yeah.
Well, no segue here, but this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh.
Back to China, Trent.
China.
Actually, in order to get to China, we're going to go a little detour
Oh.
to the Orient.
Oh.
the country of India.
India. I'm familiar.
India frees accused Chinese spy, a racing pigeon. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Feathered intruder sparks diplomatic tension and months of detective work. Dateline New Delhi.
New Delhi.
The spy could have walked out of a Jean Le Carré novel. I don't know if I said that right. He was small, innocuous, and blended easily into crowds. But when Indian authorities nabbed him at port last year, they were convinced that he had committed a crime most foul. Spelled F-O-W-L.
Yes.
They couldn't resist. The perp wasn't an intelligence spook. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Or undercover diplomat.
Yeah.
It was a pigeon.
Pigeon.
Quote, I was shocked and nervous, recalls Assistant Police Inspector Ravina Patil. Bullshit job. Quote, the first thing that came to my mind was whether it was a Chinese spy pigeon. You might be asking
That
yourself
was
why.
our first thing?
The first thing.
God damn.
Yeah. The avian affair began in May when officers of India's Central Industry Security Force, which monitors government infrastructure projects, spotted the pigeon loitering around a Mumbai port where they have shipping. They do shipping. Pigeons loiter. How else can they grab remains of your lunch?
Sure.
But something else was afoot here. The eagle-eyed officer noticed the bird had foreign writing on its feathers.
What?
And plastic rings around its feet, and altered the top brass. I don't know what that means. Intelligence officials flocked to the scene, pun intended. Patil, the assistant police inspector, says he received an urgent message from the control room. Quote, rush to check on the pigeon. It could be a spy. Patil brought the bird to an animal hospital in Mumbai for a beak-to-feet inspection. Mug shots were taken.
Oh, my God.
Following x-rays for internal implants, none were found. The plastic rings were removed and sent off to a forensic laboratory. They thought it could have secret messages or some spying things, recalls Dr. Meyer
Some
Dangar.
spying thing.
Yeah, I was like, did
Could
I
have
read
some-
that wrong?
Check it, send it to the lab, check it for spying things.
Yeah, okay. The spying things, bird. They go, you were wasting everyone's time here. You know how crazy you sound? It wasn't the first time national conversations around spy operations have taken a turn for the wild. After all, the U.S. spent years developing, quote, bat bombs. Or BAP strat with bombs to drop over cities in Japan in World War II.
Jesus.
This never took
It's like
flight.
something out of Bruce Wayne's mansion.
Why is he, does he have... You mean the philanthropist?
Yeah, billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors.
Oh, well, we won't
About
get it. We shan't get into those today.
We shan't.
I've heard them as well. During the Cold War, the CIA tried to train cats implanted with listening devices to spy on foreign officials. Operation Acoustic Kitty. Gutted rats, on the other hand, were used successfully as dead drop containers to pass notes and money onto agents.
Wow. Gutted rats? They put notes in
Yeah.
hollowed out rats?
Now, pigeons have served as stellar undercover agents for thousands of years.
Pigeons are very wise. I just think every bird is wise.
Yeah. Owls, pigeons, they're all some of the wisest creatures on Mother Earth. No, they're not. They're all fucking dumb. They're dumb animals. I'll go a step farther. Every animal's fucking stupid, but us.
Whoa! Now I can't sign off on that.
What do you mean? They're all swimming in their own filth. They're all throwing shit against the wall. We've got cities. We got maps. We got microphones. Everyone's dolphins are so smart. Are they?
Yeah.
What have they ever done besides rape each other?
But people say that dolphins rape.
Yeah.
But I've never been watching a dog have sex and be like, "Whoa, she fucking loves it."
She was asking for it.
Yeah. They all seem like it's borderline rape.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's nothing wrong with that. Just kidding. Well, anyway, pigeons have been serving as spies for thousands of years. The Romans deployed pigeons during their wars. The Greeks used them to deliver. When in Rome. The Greeks used them to deliver the results of the first known Olympics in 776 BC. Wow. They have a particular connection with espionage, says Garvest Phillips, principal lecturer in history at Manchester Metropolitan University. Bullshit job. New Delhi has been on high alert for Chinese interference after a bloody Himalayan clash, in 2020 with its powerful neighbor. So I'm not really sure what happened there. They didn't really get into it, but the tensions are high. Yeah. So police assistant Inspector Patil sniffed for clues. He spoke to colleagues at several intelligence bureaus and consulted Chinese experts who said the winged writing was too faded to read. The forensic lab reported that one of the rings contained a microchip to track the pigeon's location.
Jeez.
While the other had an alphanumeric code, possibly code name, which read 776912. We don't need to read it all, but it had a code.
That was its code name.
Yeah, exactly. It was written on his wing. His detective work uncovered that racing pigeons from Taiwan and China are often tagged with rings containing serial numbers and location chips, and that Taiwanese pigeons usually race overseas. By August, Patil said he was confident. The pigeon was an innocent athlete that accidentally booked passage to India. But back at the hospital, Dr. Dangar said the police never contacted him to free the bird, and the letters to the authorities pleading for its release went unanswered.
Oh my God.
Patil disputes that account, saying the police answered regularly. The animal rights group PETA stepped in last month after the bird served 8 months in the slammer. Fuck off.
Wow.
Do you have to pipe up about every bird in the whole?
I agree with that.
Release the bird.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a pigeon. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Also, they probably wrung its neck right when they found it. They saw the codes on it. They probably ripped its head off.
Yeah.
Late last month, the pigeon was freed.
Oh, thank God. Wow.
It lives
on time served and got out of there.
Onto grounds of the animal hospital after the police gave the green light. No one tried to contact the pigeon's handler in Taiwan or China. Everyone agreed that the pigeon was now an Indian citizen.
Wow.
The entire Indian sky now belongs to this pigeon.
Wow. And what a sky it is.
Filled with some of the most dense greenhouse gases on the planet.
Wow. Well, that was an interesting story, Joe.
It's an interesting story.
I'm happy you kind of had a happy ending. The pigeon's free. Well, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Headline: Zyn nicotine pouch sales take off, but draw debate. And you have Zyn there. What flavor is that?
Spearmint, Trent. I'm addicted to it.
Well, a newly popular alternative to cigarettes is changing the way many Americans consume nicotine.
Oh, I just got my buzz.
and becoming a political flashpoint.
Really?
Yes.
Who gives a shit?
The product, a nicotine pouch, looks like a tiny tea bag and comes in flavors such as mint, coffee, berry, and mango.
And spearmint.
Yeah. It doesn't mention spearmint, though, but
Well,
that's
it's one of
clearly
the-
your favorite flavor.
one of the more
Have you had the
populous.
coffee one?
I have.
How's that?
Not bad.
Yeah, it sounds pretty tasty. It tucks discreetly between the cheek and doesn't require the user to spit.
That's true.
And if you follow former Fox News host and nicotine pouch booster Tucker Carlson, you will already have heard a lot about the largest U.S. brand, Zyn.
And
Now,
I
you
do.
follow. You follow Tucker.
I'm a big Carlson head.
You listen to his pod. Zyn has been on the U.S. market since 2014, but its sales have skyrocketed over the past year.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know it'd been around that long. I've only heard about it past
Same.
year or so. It's shipped 116 million cans in the U.S. in the fourth quarter, a 78% increase over the same period a year earlier,
Wow.
according to its maker, Philip Morris International. Never heard anything bad about them. By dollar sales, Zyn now represents 24% of the smokeless category, which includes traditional smokeless tobacco such
They've
as
taken a cut,
Copenhagen,
right?
Grizzly, and Skoal.
That shit's so gross. It's unbelievable.
Red Man. Red Man Chew.
I'm going to throw up just thinking about it.
A chorus of self-styled Zinfluencers
Oh, my Christ. That's me.
has been promoting the brand on social media, creating headaches for Philip Morris, which says it doesn't join with social media influencers and says its products are intended for adults who are already used nicotine. Meanwhile, the debate around Zyn is intensifying among health experts, consumers, and lawmakers. At issue, whether nicotine pouches are a boon for public health or a threat to children.
Oh, the kids they're worried about.
They're worried about the kids.
Well,
They're
they sh-
always worried about the
They
kids.
shouldn't. They should go after the real thing causing harm to the kids, Peppa Pig, and the British invasion. They're calling it
The new British invasion.
the new British invasion, and it's a lot worse than the last one. The last one sent us all straight to hell, and this one's going to do the same thing.
Carlson, that's Tucker, has made unfounded claims that Zyn helps with focus and erectile dysfunction.
It helps with erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, it says it helps.
There's no way it helps with erectile.
Well,
dysfunction,
that's
right?
what Tucker Carlson says, and he's never steered me wrong before.
Yeah.
So
He's never told a lie in his life.
I'd hate to imagine he's wrong about this.
He doesn't say a lie every other thing he says.
Claims which Philip Morris rejects. Quote, Zyn is not a sin. That's the advertising campaign, Carlson quipped on a podcast in October while describing Zyn's benefits for male sexual performance.
So, wait, is he endorsed by Zyn, or does he?
He's begging to be endorsed by
Right.
Zyn, but there's no
official.
official.
He's just a loser.
Yeah, he's
not even
kind of a
getting paid to say
dweeb.
this stuff?
He's a dweeb who says it helps with his ED.
It's so funny
It
that
helps me get hard.
He has ED. He's clearly admitting to it.
While we understand these may be Mr. Carlson's views or made in jest, these statements lack a scientific foundation, Philip Morris wrote to Carlson's production team a few days later. Given Mr. Carlson's popularity and reach, these statements could promote a misunderstanding and misuse of our products. Philip Morris said it has declined requests from Carlson's representatives to form a partnership with the brand. Quote,
Yeah, what a toxic partnership that would be. Let's align ourselves with the far right.
who's also just lying about
Yeah. Not a politically neutral entity.
Quote,
Safe.
If you're not 21 years old, this is not a product for you, Philip Morris's chief executive, Jacek Golzak, said. Nicotine pouches, which don't contain tobacco leaf, are filled with wood pulp, along with nicotine salts, artificial sweeteners, and flavorings.
Sweet wood pulp.
Wood pulp.
I'm in it for the wood
delicious,
pulp. The
delicious,
nicotine, I can
delicious
take or leave.
Wood pulp.
Yeah, I'm a big wood pulp guy.
Tobacco control advocates have expressed concern about the product's potential appeal to underage children and teens and the lack of federal marketing restrictions around them. Unlike cigarette brands, nicotine pouch brands are permitted to advertise on billboards and television. And unlike some e-cigarettes, such as Juul, they are still sold in fruity flavors at convenience stores and gas stations.
Right.
So the government's a little behind. I hate to say it. They're a little behind the curve when it comes to Zyn.
Yeah.
The food.
What are they going to do?
I don't know.
They take away my sweet Zen. I mean, I'll never vote again. I'll vote them all out of office, and then I'll never
get
vote
rid of
again.
your fruity flavors.
Not my fruity flavors.
I need my fruity wood pulp. The Food and Drug Administration, which regulates U.S. tobacco products, has been considering applications submitted by Zyn and other nicotine pouch brands, weighing their potential benefit and helping adult smokers switch from cigarettes against their potential risk to children. The agency hasn't yet decided whether to allow any nicotine pouches to remain on the U.S. market.
Jesus Lord.
If the agency does authorize a nicotine pouch, the authorization might come with marketing and flavor restrictions. Nicotine is addictive, but by itself doesn't cause cancer or lung disease, according to the FDA. Those diseases are associated with the scores of other harmful constituents in cigarette smoke.
That's right.
Cans of 15 Zyn pouches cost on average about $5.50 a piece.
Yeah. It's a hell of a deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
I've enjoyed every one.
Yeah, I might have to get into it.
Part of me wonders because, there's also been like lawmakers saying that we should repeat or ban Zyn. But you have to wonder if it's not just Camel and Marlboro, big money tobacco cutting in on their sales.
But doesn't Philip Morris, don't they own pretty much every cigarette?
Oh, do they?
I don't know. I think they own a few.
Yeah. So. Maybe one of their children companies, their kids are fighting.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. But Chuck Schumer said he wanted to ban Zyn.
Yeah,
and
I think there's other problems.
I said, and I stand by the statement that if he does that, I'm going to do what they did to Nancy Pelosi's house and break the fuck in. Grab a cast iron skillet and bang his wife in the fucking head. Wasn't that the funniest thing that ever happened?
Nancy Pelosi's guy.
It's terrifying, but you have to admit it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
The husband got like hit in the head with like a frying pan or something.
Yeah, but then all these like Tucker Carlson, all these guys said it was his gay lover.
That's so. Imagine your spouse gets assaulted, and then the news is like, it must have been his gay lover. It's so brutal.
You know what I wish they would do is bring just a little more plastic with the bottles.
Really? Is it too thin?
It's too thin. It's too thin. It never used to.
Yeah, it used to be fortified.
Yeah, it used to be fortified.
Yeah.
Now water bottles. It's
impossible
to drink out of everything.
That's my issue with everything. There's not enough plastic. Because yeah. Sometimes when I'm drinking a Sprite, I feel like I'm not even getting any of the microplastics in my lungs and in my body. And,
maybe my idea would be that maybe a harder plastic would be less microplastics getting into your things. Because this, squeeze,
that thing flakes off.
Yeah, flakes off. That's
right. But they're cutting costs.
They're cutting costs
at every corner. You know what we should do to send a fucking message? Start throwing those right in the trash can. No more recycling until you beef up the plastic.
You heard it here first, folks.
Beef them up.
Throw it in the trash. No more recycling. It's bullshit.
Well, while the government should step in and do something about the plastic, they should really up it. In the meantime, and this is from the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
The FBI director. This is a headline. FBI director issues warning on China cyber attacks.
Oh.
This is kind of the bookend to our China piece. Yeah. Christopher Wray on Sunday. I don't know who that is. I'm not sure who that is.
He's Superman.
Maybe he's Superman. He's the director of the FBI. On yeah, I believe that. He played Superman in the 1970s installments.
Fell off a horse.
Yeah, fell off a horse.
Just
famously
for Ray. Yeah.
Couldn't recover, but Zyn did help him get it up. When he couldn't move the rest of his body, his dick still did get hard. Christopher Wray on Sunday said Beijing's efforts to covertly plant detective malware inside U.S. critical infrastructure networks are now at, quote, a scale greater than we'd seen before, end quote, an issue he has deemed a defining national security threat. Citing Volt Typhoon, the name given to the Chinese hacking network.
Why do they love Typhoon over there?
Yeah. Did we come up with the name or did they?
Typhoon?
Volt
Typhoon. Yeah.
That's so lame. We're calling it Volt Typhoon. The malicious malware hackers in China. Volt Typhoon, the name given to the Chinese hacking network that was revealed last year to be lying dormant inside U.S. critical infrastructure.
God.
Ray says Beijing-based actors were pre-positioning malware that could be triggered at any moment to disrupt U.S. critical infrastructure. The FBI declined to elaborate on what other critical infrastructure had been targeted, stressing that the Bureau, quote, has got a lot of work underway. They're swamped. Ray's comments are the latest in a string of public warnings by senior Biden administration officials to animate their fears about China's advanced and well-resourced hacking prowess.
Yeah.
Officials have grown particularly alarmed at Beijing's interest in infiltrating U.S. critical infrastructure networks, planting malware inside the U.S. computer systems responsible for everything from safe drinking water to aviation traffic, so it could detonate at a moment's notice, damaging cyber attacks during a conflict.
Jesus Christ.
They're everywhere. They got their fingers on everything. They're ready to shut it all down.
Yeah.
But the good news, Trent, or actually just to bring some light to this article, actually cut it into sort of a fun shape.
I noticed that.
I also did cut some frills right there.
That's really nice.
Yeah, you have these frills here too.
Bring some levity to this terrible
dire, terrible situation we see.
Dire straits over.
And they've got a lot of work to do. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, they have no timeline on when to do it.
No timeline. But ideally, they won't detonate any of the cranes or the cybersecurity attacks or send any pigeons in the next 30 years.
Wow, it can get in our drinking. It can control our drinking water, our cranes,
planes, trains, cranes, water, and automobiles, pigeons.
Jeez.
Everywhere. They got the finger on the pulse. Yeah. One day our toilet's not going to flush.
What tiny fingers they are.
Now that's some good, clean, innocent fun. You can do that at a dry bar, cruise ship, anywhere. I would save that one. Yeah, that's some nice. Did you have another one, or did you already?
That's it. That's three.
It. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
You had a theme, and I was kind of all over the place.
That's
Peppa
all right.
Pig, Zen.
You brought some good light stories in between my terrifying Chinese back-to-back.
Fear. You're sort of a fearmonger this episode.
China. It's China. China. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're listening right now. How do you even have enough guys? Well, I guess they do have enough guys to listen.
Yeah, they have a lot of guys over there.
They have the most guys.
Yeah. They have the most guys.
They have the most guys.
They definitely have the most guys. Yeah. Wow.
Well, I'm sure it'll all work out.
As long as they don't hack into this podcast.
Yeah, it would be detrimental.
Fine. It would be detrimental.
Our numbers are so fragile as they are.
No, but there's a guy who comments on every YouTube episode.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'll give him a shout out at the end here.
Oh, shout out.
Chris in Fremantle. He's an Australian.
We got an Australian. Yeah. What's up, Chris? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah, thanks for leaving the comments. Tell your friends. Tell your other Aussies.
We're huge in Australia. I love that.
Yeah.
We would love to go do a live pod in Australia sometime. But it's up to you, Chris. It can only work if you tell all of your friends. And to everyone else listening with Chris, please share our podcast with your friends. Tell people about it. Tune in. Review. Leave us a review.
Yeah, subscribe, rate, review, all that
bullshit. All that horse shit. That's all we ask you to do. And, of course, tune in every week for another episode of Echo Chamber.
With Joe and Trent. And I, of course, am Trent, signing off.
And I, of course, and inevitably am Joe, signing out.
Bye-bye.